This right here is why you want to stay at the Sulaks, right, Hens? To see these boats come through.
That's huge.
Come on, JJ. What'd you think of that boat horn?
We've been looking at these RVs with these epic spots, wondering like, who are they with? What is going on?
Good morning, welcome to Sulak Boat Tours.
We're looking for the dotted line right now to see when we cross into Canada. What's up, fellow journeyers? So if you've ever...
Did you ever know Let's Jump More Journey?
Hensley, you goober. And so you guys that have followed us know that we have had several different rigs. We've had several different lengths. We've had motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel. And one of the things we talked about a lot is like knowing what kind of experiences you want, because that helps you determine what size RV you have. And so we currently have a 40-foot fifth wheel. Coming from the 30-foot Airstream. 40 feet compared to 30 feet has definitely had an impact on where we can stay with our RV. Now, I'm not gonna say we can't stay some really awesome places, because we still do, we still can, and we still love, you know, checking out a lot of these places we're going to. But, especially this route, I think it's kind of opened our eyes up to, it's not just about getting a spot, it's about getting the spot. So it's not about just getting into a campground, or a loop, it's about finding the spot in the loop. But just to be totally honest, like, I mean, we tried, but it's hard. You either got to book way in advance or you're looking for that cancellation. And we were snagging cancellations just to get into these campgrounds. And so the first example that comes to mind is Holland State Park. We're like, oh, we got into Holland State Park, which is tough to get into, but either I didn't realize it or it just wasn't open anyways. We ended up staying in like the foresty loop of the campground and not the beach campground, which is what we would have personally definitely wanted. And then we got into Mackinac Mill Creek Campground, which was an awesome campground. Again, we could not get the water sites. We had people say, look, if you can't, you know, do whatever you gotta do, pay whatever you gotta pay, you wanna be on those water sites. So it's not that we didn't know, it's not that we didn't believe people, it's just that we couldn't get into the water sites. And so we spent our time walking or riding our bikes over near these water sites and just looking at this epic view of the bridge and the sunsets and people doing their fires at night. And then we left Mackinac Mill Creek Campground and went across the bridge to Strait State Park. Now, when I booked Strait State Park, pretty much everybody said this is an awesome state park, and it was. It's a great place to stay. It's hard to get into, but same situation. You've got these pretty much epic campsites on the water or around the water in the loop that's close to the water in Strait State Park. That's where you want to be, but that is not what we could get into. And so again, we spent our time walking like half a mile from our campground down to this other campground close to the water to see the views. You worried about skunks?
They said the skunks like to hide in these.
But now would I say, given the choice, should you just not even go to these campgrounds if you can't get the epic sites? No, you still go to these campgrounds. I mean, they're great campgrounds. Strait State Park, for instance, just getting across the bridge to that park is an experience. Also, one of the big things about these campgrounds is what you can do around these campgrounds. And so Strait State Park was no different. Just a short drive down the road. We drove to like a playground, which was on the water overlooking the lighthouse. And of course, we had to try out some pasties.
Got the goods. So these are an Upper Peninsula kind of staple up here. So from my understanding, it started with miners in like the what, 1800s that come over. This is what they would take for lunch, and it's a crust, and it's got beef and onion, potato, and rutabaga.
Did you say potato instead of potato?
Up at the top of that.
I'm trying to be official here. Potato, tomato.
Ooh, that looks good. Wow.
So you can get it with gravy or without. We actually got them from a couple different places. We went to Letho's and Bessie's, and we're gonna mix and match and see what's different here, what we like. Going with the gravy this time.
So is this the beef one?
This is beef.
Ooh, that looks good. This is the chicken one?
And that's chicken.
All right, so this is a different place. Which one's
Yeah,
this one from?
this is Letho's, this is Bessie's.
That looks almost like a pot pie. Which
Yeah,
is kind
but-
of what they taste like, apparently. So we're gonna...
It is like a pot pie in a sense. Without the pot?
Even though
I like
those
dipping.
slides was bumping, they didn't even fly.
So I like the way this one's layered. The potatoes are kind of flat, I guess, in this one, but I like the flaky crust on the other one.
So the crust with the middle of that one?
Yes, so I like the flaky crust, but I like the way the potatoes are layered. It's just a texture thing almost. They both have potatoes. So if I had to pick, I would say, which one's this from?
Letho's?
Letho's. So this one's from Letho's. I like it better because I just like the texture of the potatoes, but the crust is better on this other one. So you're
I
really-
guess I'm gonna stay. I agree with everything you said.
So and then that gets us caught up to today. So we left straight State Park. We drove an hour-ish north to Sulog's, and we're at Sulog's campground. This is a great campground. I highly recommend if you can get into this campground, you want to be here. But same deal. We got a campsite, not really the campsite to have. So even if it's, I'm cheap. I am. I'm just, you can ask me where I'm cheap. But if you see a chance to get on a waterfront site in an epic area, you just do it. You just do it. And so these sites across the road, oh man, look at that. These are the sites you want. We can walk out, we can see it, but these people have got Class A's facing this with a big windshield, or you walk out at night and you can have your campfire and you're right. Like, there's just something about that experience. I think if you're in a big rig, maybe this is like your version of, hey, maybe I can't get into that state park or that national park or that really epic loop, but at least if you're getting a private site, or if you do get into the state park, you put in that extra effort to try to get into these epic spots you can fit into it. So today, even though we are not directly on the water with our rig, we're gonna get it directly on the water with a boat, which I don't think would be directly on the water with our rig. That would be kind of scary anyways, but that's the goal today. Heck it up, bub, we gotta go. We can ride the boat. Ride that boat. We've been looking at these RVs with these epic spots, wondering like, who are they with? What is going on? Well, it's part of the Elks Lodge. So 2 memberships you may not hear a whole lot about as an RVer, and that's because it takes more to be a member of these places. But an Elks Lodge member and a Moose Lodge member. So it's not like Good Sam or Passport America where you just fill something out real quick and all of a sudden you're a member. There's actually there's a lot more to it than that. But if you do the research, I hate saying when I say do. If you do the research and become a member, one of the perks is that a lot of these, they have places where you can camp. I don't want to say camp, but you can stay overnight if you need to or want to. You talk about getting the right site. Oh my goodness.
Good morning, welcome to Sulog Boat Tours. We will begin loading the tour boat Hiawatha. The Governor of Michigan has mandated the wearing of face masks in all indoor public facilities and crowded outdoor areas.
My name is Greg. I'll be your captain on the tour today.
There's our camper over there.
And eventually delivering away from the Lower Peninsula swept north. Indicating the depth of water in the lock. Right now it's about 35 feet. Once they close the gates and isolate this lock from the river system, that 35 feet equates to about 17 million gallons of water underneath us right now.
So basically a lock allows people to travel from one lake to the other, and that's what this lake is doing. I think it's Lake Huron, there's some of the lower lakes, and so they've basically stopped all this water. Like the water would normally be up here, they've stopped the water from the river to like, and just the surrounding water for us to come through here. So they're like parting the waters in a sense. It's pretty cool to think that like if they weren't stopping this, we would just, I don't know, be thrown up on land or something like that. About to close these gates and let the water back in, and then we're heading out. This is so cool.
It is super
Yeah, that's the end of America.
Look at the gate closing. You feel it, Hensley? You feel it's going up? They're going, we're going up. It's like a really slow elevator. That huge wall we were looking up at, like we're now level. That's so crazy. Canada, A. And there's the US. Canada, US. So this is the bridge to cross into Canada. And like there's pretty much nobody on it. Pretty much can't cross into Canada right now, so there's nobody on this bridge except for mainly trucks.
That must be Canadian National Railway Bridge. That's a lift bridge.
So you can see where it goes from a high level to a low level, between where we're at and where we were. Back in the day before they built this, you know, people, it was just rapids pretty much going from one level to the next.
The dotted line, we are now in Canada. Now if you do see the dotted line, let me know, will you? I can't see it. Probably already Canada.
No, no, babe, there's not really a dotted.
You gotta jump in, it's down on the bottom.
Yeah. We're looking for the dotted line right now to see when we cross into Canada. You ready to go to Canada?
Oh my. You were in Canada.
Where's he pointing at? Where do we
While
cross?
we're looking that way, let's
We just
keep looking.
crossed
That's
We just crossed over?
gates that are over
Yeah,
there.
pretty much like right there.
Compensating Dam. Now
Anybody
that
said the
goes
buoys
to
are hard?
So if anybody tells you you can't go to Canada right now recreationally, we technically just did it. So I mean, we're just in a boat for a few minutes and we're turning around, but we're in Canada. That's probably one of my favorite things about the campground we got and the site we got. Even though we didn't get the site, we got a site. Still being able to see these giant freight liners coming through on the water after crossing through the locks. I mean, it's just, if you just haven't seen anything like this, it's really cool to experience. It's something that in person is just kind of makes you realize how small you are sometimes. So they're over here loading the steel onto the barge. You see them loading the steel? Look at them loading the steel.
There when it's full ready to go. Now that guy's gonna have between 300 and 350.
So they load the steel here, it gets on this barge, and then goes to Detroit from here.
Watch what guys more about that plan as we exit the lock.
So on the Canadian side over here, they've got it wide open with like a nature trail.
It's like a park. You see people walking the path.
Now on the United States side, it's like barred up and got giant things of plexiglass.
It's a very different experience.
Now we're approaching the swing bridge here, black structure. That swing bridge to our left was built 1899.
So it swings over and connects. It's so cool. AJ, it's not how you use those.
Kayaks, jet skis.
Canadians are so nice. Oh man. I love Canada. So we left and went out through the American lock, and then we're coming back through on the Canadian lock, and then heading back to where we launched from, which is like 2 minutes from our campsite. We're gonna let the water down.
I think sometimes we think it has to be perfect in order to, get out and make memories. We're like, oh, well, we didn't make our reservations a year in advance like some people did, and more power to you if you are that type of planner, because those are probably the ones with those sites right there.
Probably.
I think it's just about making the most of the opportunity you have, whether that's you have a tent and you can go and make memories as a family, or you're a weekend warrior, or you're striving to go full-time, or whatever that is. I think it's just starting with where you're at and making the most of it. Sometimes we have these epic spots And sometimes we don't, but I feel like everywhere we go, we're just making the most of our memories and our time together.
And so a big part of our channel is storytelling, and we feel like that story can be told even better the fewer commercials there are in the videos. So thank you, Team Journey on Patreon, for helping to, I guess, fund this channel in a way that we only have a couple of commercials at the beginning, because they really, if you enjoyed this story without the commercials just shot all throughout the video, they're a big part of that. If you want to also be a part of Team Journey, which is so much more than just that, maps, live chats, really just a community that supports and loves each other, you can head to lessjunkmorejourney.com/Patreon.
We love you guys. Thank you for allowing us into your homes this week, and we'll catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later.